You need this cord coming from the corner there. We're going to plug it into the computer. That connects it to the laser. This cord here coming from this right here, this is its power. The reason, even if you have a full charge, you want to do that because
dies quickly.
you might be running it for hours, and when the computer goes dead, it shuts this off. All right. So, all right. So then we turn this on. All right, and then excuse me, Rose. Then we go to light burn.
It's like a dinosaur type thing. Oh.
What was cool?
How it goes off the screen. Yeah. Like sucks it off the screen.
Okay, so this is light burn, and to connect to the laser, we need to go here to where it says auto, and I go to CU WCHU SB serial 110. All right. Mm-hmm. And when I click on that, it connects. And what's happening now is it's homing. Way too close. Okay, so it went down to this corner and came all the way up to the top. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to move the laser here.
Press the buttons, or do you?
So I'm gonna go to distance, and I'm gonna change it to 1, so that's 1 inch, and this moves it away from me, and this moves it towards that wall.
Oh.
And so the reason why I'm doing that is I want to put a new piece of wood in, and we need to measure the distance from the laser to the wood. So every time we turn it on, it goes all the way to the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm just putting a scrap piece of wood in there. The scrap, there's a button underneath here. And what I want to do is I want that button, I want this button down here to come down and touch this wood, and it will know how far away it is. Okay, here. So then what I'm going to do is I go to console. Go to console, and then there's autofocus. Now, for some reason, you have to do this twice. Okay, so it's going to go down, it's going to hit that button, and then go back up, and then I have to do it again, and then it will be the right distance. Well, that's interesting.
What?
I think it actually did it the first time that time.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's never done that.
I know, you told me that you always have to do it twice.
I always have to do it twice. But, okay. It did not go back up like it normally does. Rose, can you go grab, there's a piece of wood in the kitchen?
Yeah, check the closet.
Yeah, you can find it. So you want the bed clear of little things like this so that it lays totally flat. You're going to want to come next to me or something. Okay, and then what I do is I bring this up against this side of the frame, and it doesn't have to hit the bottom, but I have it up against this side, and then it's sticking out past this side of the frame. The wood's bigger than the frame is. Okay, so then What we need to do is we need to get this piece of wood perfectly,
Centered.
not centered, but like lined up with the machine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move, I'm gonna move it down. Let's go back up. Move it back up. Okay, and I'm gonna move the wood to line up with the laser. Not yet, but you'll see. 0.1. So I'm changing the amount it moves to 0.1. And now it only moves a little bit. Okay, so you see how the laser's on the edge of the wood now?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I want to change this back to 1. And I'm gonna move it this way. Okay, until it stops. So I need to move this over.
Excuse me.
Okay, and then I'm gonna go back into move, and I'm gonna change this to 0.1. And I'm gonna move this.
Pause.
Okay, so now you can see the laser's hitting just the tip there. And if I put a drawing in here, so we're gonna import, and I think we're gonna do all earrings because we need to cut these for the displays.
Yep.
We do need this, right?
For the carts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is grab all this. When it's dashed and moving, that's when I have it selected.
Oh, okay.
When you select in this direction, it selects anything that is inside the box. But notice it didn't select the bottom too. When you select from the top, when you select from this direction, it selects only things that are 100% inside the box. So like this line was in the box, but not 100% in the box, so it didn't select. When you go from the bottom in this direction, it selects anything that's in the box. So I actually got everything, but it doesn't have to be 100%. Even if it's 1% in the box, it'll select it.
Cool.
All right. So
Can you put it on the flowers over there?
what?
2 over there.
Yeah, those 3 could go on the flowers, but no for
Probably.
no.
So
That's a problem with the what's it called, diamonds. You think they're gonna fit, but they don't.
all right. So I've selected that. I'm gonna put this like down here, and put these 2 over there. All right. So it's weird that we have multiple ladybugs there,
No.
but I don't want to monkey with it too much. Okay, so right now, if I select all of it, it is, look right here, it's a little over 6 inches high and it's 9.5 wide. 9.5 wide, a little over 6 inches tall.
Some of these are really
Okay.
hard to watch.
And if I get rid of this gray line, then it's only 4.5 inches tall and a little less than 9.5 inches wide. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to check and see if that board is on correctly. So what I'm going to do, look this way. Do you see where I have frame?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna hit frame and watch what it does over there. And you see how it went off the board?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put my finger here and I'm gonna move the whole frame down a little bit on this side so that it brings the board down. So now watch, I'm gonna hit frame. Okay, so it's better, except that it's not quite on there. So we're gonna move this very, very small amount. Look here. I'm gonna change this from 0.1. I'm gonna change it to 0.01. So that's a very small amount. And I'm gonna move it up. Okay, so right there, that's pretty good. So I'm gonna hit frame again. And now it's actually not perfectly lined up. It's up too high. Ouch. So I moved this end a little bit more. All right, frame. And that looks pretty good to me.
Mm.
Okay, so the laser's ready. We're gonna go ahead and shut this. All right. Come behind me and I'm going to show you a couple more steps. Okay, so now I could press start and it would run, but cuts and layers, we want the red one, to be the very last thing it does. And right now it is the very last thing it does. Okay. Fill is when it's and it's darkening it in. It's for the butterfly wings. Blue is just drawing lines, but it's not cutting through. Okay. And each one of these different colors at the bottom are, each color down here is a different thing. Mostly I'm using the blue, the red, the green, the yellow, and sometimes the orange. And they all do something slightly different, and I decide what they do.
Oh, okay.
And I can change them. Let's say 250 and 90. 250 is the power, the speed, and 90 is the power.
What you made these boards for?
Yeah, that's why I made these. So this is the power, and this is the speed. And so right now, it'll cut at 250 by 90, and it will etch at 10,070, which is actually, it's that one right there. So and it might be a double pass. If we double click on this, it'll open, so it's a double pass. This is just a single pass. So it'll go deeper than that. And then the line is 80 power and 3000 speed. Okay. So I make sure, and let's say this red one was up top. All I have to do is I grab it and I drag it to the bottom. Well, you gotta drag it over the other one. So now it would be on bottom, which is what you want. You want the cut always at the bottom, because the cut actually separates things. The other ones are just, they stay in place. Okay. Then I go up to this little, it's like a computer screen, and it shows me what it's going to look like. And for one like this, it's kind of hard to see because there's so much here. And I wouldn't know what to, but if I'm looking at all the same thing, I can typically find any problems. Sometimes like a line will be missing. It will also give me an error sometimes that says, hey, you've got a bad line. And then it'll even say, do you want me to tell you which line is broken or not good? And I say yes, and then I have to go back into AutoCAD and fix that. Okay, so this looks good. Now, the way I have it set up, it doesn't matter where this is on this
Mm-hmm.
because this bottom corner that's in green, the job origin, it will start at the job origin in the laser's current position. So I kind of I have the laser set at this bottom corner of the wood, and I'm having this as the job origin. So what's going to happen is it's going to go in this direction and it's going to make the stuff. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're ready to go. So I turn on the fans. And I hit start. And here's the picture.
Should I stop it? Should I stop it?
Yeah.